Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in the studio. We've been doing a bunch of backyard cocktails. Look for one in the rain from this one. She drew the short straw, and it was an ethically metal straw too, which is nice for the turtles. So we rewash it anyway. We overdo. We overgive to
Even to the damn turtles.
And listen, speaking of turtles in the ocean, beautiful segue, honey. Great job. We are going to have a special guest with us tonight. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a special guest. This gentleman has been with us not once, not twice, but 3 times. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Chief Barrel Officer for Jefferson's Bourbon Distillery, Dan Burke, ladies and gentlemen. There he is.
Hey, is this my 3rd time?
Yes, it is.
Wow. It's like Saturday Night Live. I should get like a velvet jacket or something.
One more, you get a key to the backyard
shed. I get to watch your dogs.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
You get to dog sit for 20 minutes.
That's what I want.
So hey, it's been a little while since we saw you. Listen, we have
silence.
We have somebody who's in the audience who doesn't know the term "turn your phone off."
Somebody must know that Dan's on the show. They want to come on. That's what it is.
Yes. So we haven't had you on in a while, which is a horrible travesty. But I got to tell you, you've been busy. I've been watching you on Instagram with Trey, and you guys are doing so much stuff. So
it's so much fun.
We'll give you a pass.
Thanks, because I love being on the show. But yeah, this is our 25th anniversary with Jefferson's.
Yeah.
And I literally was with Trey, when he came to a group of us, and we're all drinking vodka and Red Bull, and he goes, well, I'm going to start a bourbon. And 25 years later, he wasn't as crazy as he seemed at the time. He's pretty brilliant, actually. So we just pinch ourselves. I mean, we really do. We can't believe the growth and what's happened with us. So it's pretty awesome. It's fun.
And it almost seems like it went by in an instant, but I'm sure there was been some tough times there, but
yeah, when we're loading cases into the back of Trey's car and he's driving them down to Georgia or wherever, just begging the distributor, just please take these 6 cases. So now it didn't seem too short a time period then. It seemed like it was epic. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool now. Yeah, it's funny because we do barrel samples. That's kind of one of the main things I do is we'll do single barrel picks, and we were doing one with a group out of Florida, and Trey goes, ask them if they remember me sitting in their lobby just watching the big guys come in and out selling barrel after barrel after barrel, and they just keep putting me off, and I go, do you guys remember that? And one guy there goes, oh yeah, I remember that. Tell them we're sorry. Because they're saying we want 10 barrels. I'm like, I'm sorry, I only have 5 for you right now.
Beautiful. So, never let them forget.
Oh, never. No, Trey won't let them. No, it's great. It's funny.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I got to tell you, we've done a lot of Jeffersons on our show, and every time we do, the response
the crowd goes crazy.
Yeah, the response has been so great, and it's one of those things, we have a gentleman that works with me. He is my boss's boss, but I've known him for probably, oh my gosh, almost 30 years. We've been in the business, here or there together. And I even knew him back when I was bartending. So anyway, cut to the chase, his goal was for us to give Jefferson's the spread on the shelf. And we worked on it diligently. And, I don't mean to toot our own horn, but honk, honk.
Yeah.
We've done such a great job up here in upstate New York. The team that I'm associated with, our team has done amazing things, and it's due to the quality of the product. I mean, you can get as wide a spread of product on a shelf all you want. If it doesn't pull, then then you're in the hot seat.
They're not coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
So a funny story about that. There's a guy he's part of this Facebook Ocean fan group that they follow us on Facebook, and they're big fans of the Ocean line that we have. And he I told him, I go, New York is one of our biggest markets and has been for a long time. They've built it up there. It's fantastic. And he's searching for older voyages. So I said, you should check out New York sometime. He was just there, and he planned it out where he landed in, I think it was in the city, and then mapped out 485 stores around the state. And he could hit, I think he hit them in 5 days. And he started emailing me pictures. He found a Voyage 2 somewhere.
No way.
He found a 5. Yeah, which I couldn't believe that those are still out there. But they're out there on the shelves. And then he found a bunch of other stuff too, like Presidential Select. He found a Presidential Select 18, which is literally iconic. Like, I mean, and he's like, should I buy this? It's $110. I'm like, yes, I'll buy it from you. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's commitment.
Yeah, no, it was fun. So yeah, New York has been just a boom.
That must have been a fun little trip. I mean, fast and furious, but it was probably awesome.
No, it was pretty cool.
I was just looking at my one bottle that I had. I have like a little collection of my Oceans here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've got the lowest one I've got is 17, but I've got a weeded, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Or 22, I think was 20. My favorite. So
and then I've got this little handy dandy. Put it in your pocket and take it with you to the beach.
I love it. Isn't that great?
You know what I mean? It's the cutest little thing.
The Ocean thing, I mean, you guys know the story, but the way that this is, we're on Voyage 29. Has just come back. It's not out yet, but it's just come back to port. And, this started, and for the first 10 voyages, nobody cared. They were like, oh, that's a bunch of marketing BS. It doesn't really go out in the ocean. Well, it does go out in the ocean, and it travels all around the world. It's unbelievable what happens to that juice. And when it leaves, it's about 6 to 8 year old whiskey. The rye that we're tasting is going to be different, but a normal ocean voyage is 6 to 8 year old whiskey. And it goes out, for 8 months to a year, and it comes back. It is a completely different whiskey, as you can tell that. Yeah, it's fun. It's a cool thing, but it's crazy now. We can't keep it in stock. We quit exporting because we can't keep up with the demand of the United States. So, the Ocean is taking on a life of its own. We're two companies. We're Jefferson's, and then we're Jefferson's Ocean. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny. We have 22 different products now. So
that's crazy.
It's fun. Yeah. And
I love the Manhattan.
I
got a few people turned on to that in my personal life. And I love the Pritchard Hill.
That's my second favorite. My first is the old rum, but that Pritchard Hill is amazing.
The rum one.
Yeah, I love the old rum. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, it's great. Pritchard Hill is funny. I was out there. I went to Chapelet, is the winery where we get the barrels, and I was out there, and the guy that's the winemaker goes, here are your barrels. They're up on this big shelf, and he goes, so after we dump them, you want us to steam and clean them and get them all out? I'm like, no. Leave them full would be great. It was nice. Because that wine, oh my gosh.
Full, please. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I joined the Chapelet Wine Club when I was out there, and I got my 6 bottles of the Pritchard Hill delivered right before Christmas this year. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it was fantastic. But yeah, I'm with you. I love that one.
Yeah, I love Pritchard Hill. And, honestly, when the rye came out, the Ocean Rye, I was like, okay. Because I really love the rye that's aged in cognac barrels.
Yeah,
love that. I've always been kind of a rye guy anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, you're in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of cut my teeth on Canadian whiskey, which is predominantly rye anyway. But anyway, let's taste some Ocean Rye.
Yeah. So you say it's Canadian. This is Canadian. So we get Canadian rye, but unlike normal rye, we put it into new barrels. So they use new charred oak barrels, and then we double barrel it. So we take that 5-year-old rye, and we put 25% of it into a char 3 barrel, and then 75% of it, and then 25% of it goes into a toasted barrel. So Trey wants a rye that he can sip. He wants a little more pronounced on the end. He doesn't want that burn up front. He wants to be very, very sippable and just, an easy drinking rye. And if you've tasted all of our ryes, back to the, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, though our ryes are super sippable. So it's fun.
Honestly, I just poured this in the glass. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I poured
my
this in the
only
glass.
glass I have
It-
is my giant glass I'm gonna make my cocktail in. So
that's
I'm
okay.
gonna, but I can get my nose in there, which I love to be able to
Yeah,
get.
I mean, I just
Oh
poured this in the
yeah,
Glencairn, and it's kind of like
Mm.
filling the
yeah.
space that we're sitting in right here.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's
Oh
great.
wow! So now, what's the age on this?
So it's 5 years old when we get it. So and
Okay,
we added another 8 months roughly to a year on that
okay.
with the double oak. So that's once it's out of its new charred oak barrels, we put it into another fresh barrel and then 25% of it, and then we blend all that together and then put it out in the ocean.
Mm.
Mm. I mean, it's almost like a cocktail on its own. It's so good. There's a weird sweetness to it that, and I hate to say weird because I'm probably going to get yelled at by my boss people, but I love that. Like I like the unusual, like almost tangy you get from that rye.
Yeah, it's almost got like a toasty, like almost marshmallowy type characteristic to
Roasted
it.
marshmallows. That's a lot of that's from the ocean, and
Yeah.
you get a little bit of that salinity from the ocean air. It's so crazy. That's the thing that was hard, and people didn't really understand it. But the very first voyage that ever went out was new fill bourbon, and it was out for about a year and a half. It was only supposed to be out for a little while, and it came out. I mean, it looked like charcoal water. I mean, it was black as can be, and looked like it was going to be awful, but it was great. And it had all that, like the burnt sugars, because it was literally the sugars that were in it. They were just pelted with the sun because they were on the equator for such a long time. And that happens. Like it gets out there, and when we put it on our boats, it sits on the top of a great big cargo ship in an open container that's got a net over it and portholes, and then it sits in things that kind of swing. But it gets pummeled with heat, and then it moves around, and it's on the top of these cargo ships. So when they have to unload something below it, guess what happens? They have to take that off and set it down so it's moving around, and
Oh wow!
so it gets so much action and agitation. Plus, it's on the top of a boat, which moves more anyway.
Right.
It's funny when we, the very first voyage was a friend of ours boat, and we had it on. There were 5 barrels on that boat, so we knew we had something. So we wanted to get a bigger vessel to be able to do this. So we contacted a bunch of companies, and the first company said, "That's great. We can get you back in 45 days." We're like, no. We want it to be like a year, maybe stay longer.
Right.
However long, tell
Just
me the
drive
longest
around.
yeah, literally. And what's the longest we can do? And so we found a great partner, and now we've got another one too that they're fantastic, and they keep it up there on the water for us a little bit longer. But if
That's
you think
awesome.
about that, think about the international tariffs and the all the things you have to do to make this happen. It's crazy. Trey Zoller was a mad genius. It's crazy that he even thought to do this, and then to be able to figure out a company that can do it and all the taxes and all the things that happen. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's because it crosses a lot of state lines, and then it goes out on international waters. So it's like a whole entity. And we've never
Travels more
lost
than
it
we
with
do.
money. Oh yeah. It's crazy.
Best story. I swear it's the
Isn't it
best
neat?
story that
Yeah.
out of all of our shows that we've done, it's the coolest. It's so cool.
And like I said, the first few voyages, people were like, "Oh, that's a marketing gimmick," and then they start tasting it, and they see the difference, and then you read about it. Every voyage is different. You can go on our website and see, voyage number 20. What is this? Voyage number 26, which is the rye when we're tasting.
Right.
I don't think you can see it. Every voyage has a little booklet that it's the captain's log basically, and tells you the whole story, and you can read all those. I think back to voyage 7 or 5. On our website, and everyone's different. Like we had one that went through the Panama Canal, and it was completely clear, so it shot through the Panama Canal really quickly. So that's going to be that'd be weird. But it went through so fast, it was ahead of its whatever schedule, and it couldn't get into a couple ports, so it had to wait. So it sat on the equator and just roasted it. So it's just totally baked, no wind, nothing. It just sat there and just was pummeled all day long and all night. Yeah. So you never know. There's a big storm, or there's, well, wait a minute, the government of whatever country is mad at them, and they're, so no, you have to wait, and they keep them docked in port for 10 days or something, and you never know. It might be crazy humidity where they are, or, you never know what's going on. And the barrels break. We always lose. Normal rick house, you're going to lose a lot of angel share. I
Sure.
mean, imagine being out on the ocean. Plus they break and they, they're getting shaken around a lot. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool thing, and it's a fun thing to be part of.
So I have a question. Is there ever a time that you would set voyage with all of this and come back and be like, nope, we're not using that?
It didn't work. Yeah.
Yep.
Not yet. It's funny because I
Funny,
had a
why
group
you
of guys
jinxing
in.
No.
them?
I'm asking.
No, it's funny.
Like, is that a possibility, or does it not?
It's a fair question.
Does
It's a
that
great
not ever
question.
happen?
Well, and think about this: of all the things you have to do with 29 voyages so far, we've never lost one. Like, how does that happen? You a lot of breakage, and we've lost barrels, but we've never lost a whole container, which happens all the time apparently. So yeah, knock on wood. But it's funny. We have done so many experiments. Trey Zoller will do. Literally, I'm like, hey, let's put a barrel on the Empire State Building's elevator and let it ride up and down for you. He's like, okay, let's do it. I don't care. Like he's up for whatever it is, which is a good idea. And if anybody steals that, because it might still happen.
That's so funny.
And we have. It's funny because so much of it is like, that seems crazy. It's not going to work. One thing that we've done, and I don't know if I need to get into it much, but we've had one thing that we did that was a complete disaster. That was awful. We use a very famous hot sauce company's barrels, and we aged whiskey in those.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm not sure Trey wants me to tell a story, so I'll stop now. But it was a disaster.
Should have thrown it in some bottles and made Jefferson's hot sauce and just.
Yeah, we could. We still could. We got it. It's not going anywhere.
Some of your losses back,
It was bright red. I mean, it was. Yeah. It was tough, but all the other crazy things that we've tried, Mizunara barrels, and a new oak tree that's not aged or burnt. We've tried everything, and it all kind of works out. So it's fun.
You got to throw it against the wall, see what happens.
Right? Why not? Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
We talked about this on one of the previous shows during the pandemic when we started doing shows. I would watch Trey's Instagram shows.
Yeah.
And he was on there one time and he's like, you know what? I got a bottle of this and I got a bottle of this and a bottle of this and they're all like this. He goes, let's put them all together. So, I mean, he's like mad scientist right there. And he's like shaking it up and stuff. And he's like drinking. He's like, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, one was like a chef's collaboration. One was the like a rum cask. One might have been an ocean. And I think he had like a reserve or something like that. And he blended them all together. He's like, hey, this is pretty awesome.
He cracks
me up. How can it not be, right?
Well, that's the other thing. You start with a good group of stuff, and as long as you don't go nuts with it or add too many weird things, yeah. But I'm going to be, gentle here, but he doesn't have the most sophisticated dining palate. He's a cheeseburger guy, and you don't think, but his cocktail palate is insane. He puts together. He was like, "Oh no, you need to. We're going to blend this. We're making a really special thing for our 25th anniversary." And I'm like, "Oh, it'll be fun. We'll throw it all together." But he is like, "No. Here, we're going to do this. We're going to do this.
Wow.
We're going to do this. These things. It's cool." So this is kind of a cool thing without giving too much away. Trey's 8th generation grandmother was arrested for bootlegging bourbon in 1799. She was a widow from the Revolutionary War. She had 4 kids to feed, and she was the first documented female to be arrested in the bourbon business. So she's the first documented female in the bourbon business, period, which is pretty cool. And so we're going to do a special kind of tribute to Marion McLean, which we're really excited about. Be coming out here
Love
soon.
that.
That's awesome.
We're just finalizing that. Yeah, it's cool. So
that's
fun.
Yeah, you got to put out Jefferson's Granny's edition.
That's right. It literally is. Yeah.
Just drive. Just keep driving it around down south in a old pickup truck.
Right. Well, horseback for 1799. Taking on a horse.
Although the price of gas, it might be a lot more expensive than ocean.
Horse will be a lot. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. Well.
So let's crack into the cocktail situation here.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Boulevardier. So Patty did a show on that last week or so, and I've never really physically made one myself. But we're gonna let her rip.
I
love it.
One.
Yeah.
And then I tasted it, and they are very good.
So you're gonna coach me, honey, but we're gonna do it in the mixing glass.
I don't remember how to make it. But...
Oh boy, here we go.
So my daughters graduated from college. I have twin daughters that just graduated this year from college.
Congratulations.
It was pretty exciting. We're very proud of them. So they, for part of their graduation present, we took them to Italy. So we were there for 10 days, and I drank Negronis every day, 3 times a day, as many as I could get, because I completely love them. And so I got back, and I'm like, well, I don't really want a Negroni. I want to drink some Jefferson. So I started making these, and you could top it off with a little Prosecco or something sparkling. I guess with
nice.
We could use Perrier-Jouet or one of our other sparklings. It's amazing what that does. And if you stir it a lot or shake it, I really like that, because Campari to me can be a little bit too much. So I like it thinned out just a little tiny bit. And the bourbon, and it's fantastic. It's amazing what it does. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, well, that's a pretty rock.
He puts a little bit of Prosecco or something on the top of it.
Just kind of at the end. Yeah, it's funny. In Italy it's called a Negroni Spagliato, which means mistake. And somebody made a mistake and stuck Prosecco on instead of gin or something like that.
Oh wow,
so
that's awesome.
I butchered it every time. My daughters were embarrassed when I I just say, put some Prosecco on top of it, please.
Well, I don't think we have any kicking around right down here, but that's all right. We'll do that.
It's definitely not part of the normal thing at all. Yeah. I learned a lot about the Negroni, over there, so it's cool.
Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of cocktails and following some guys on Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And one of the guys that had mentioned when he was making, actually I think it was a really like big time bartender. I forget what his name is, but anyway. He said, put the Campari in first and let it mellow for a second before you put the other ingredients in.
Yes.
Because it kind of, it can be sharp. So we're
it's
going to make
funny that you say that, because every time I make one, I feel like it's different. And I feel like I do it the exact same way every time.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that is for sure. I was a bartender for 13 years, and you can never make a drink exactly the same. No, you can't.
But here's the other thing, though, is using a great vermouth, and this is Cinzano's 1757.
Ooh,
this
fancy.
is probably pound for pound one of the better Rosso vermouths that are out there.
Yeah.
And it's very affordable.
Yeah, I can't believe how expensive vermouth can be. They can really get up.
Vermouth is,
and a lot of people don't know.
Well, that's the thing too. Some of the vermouths that I've had in the past are like woof, but this one you could actually drink it by itself.
Yeah, and so many people don't understand vermouth, and they are like, they went to their grandparents' house and they pulled out the bottle of vermouth that's got like cobwebs and stuff on. Like, oh, I'll try this, and they taste it and they puke because it's completely rancid. Because it goes bad. It goes bad after a while.
Bad, yeah.
I've got a little. This vermouth that I love, the Partner vermouth from California.
Oh yeah.
It's organic. It's expensive, but I love it. You don't need a lot of it, and then you pump it and keep it in the fridge, and it'll last. You can go a month with it, probably 5 weeks if I'm lucky.
I'm making too much noise.
No.
He always makes noise.
When you're making cocktails.
The old mixing glass. Smile and look at the customer. That's what they say to do.
So I learned something about the spoon, and I should have known this. You guys are going to probably think I'm goofy, but you're supposed to pour your liquor down the spoon, and it goes into the drink better.
Yes.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Not as easy as it looks.
No, I know. I'm sure.
Well, well, you can't lean it against the side of the glass to do that, though. I mean, you got to kind of have it in the middle.
Shoot that.
And I have seen guys do soda down it.
Okay.
Before.
Well, I'm like, now I'm going to pour everything down. I want to see, now maybe I will get my drinks to come out right every time.
I've made quite a mess doing it. I gave up.
They're such great spoons. It's such a great tool. I mean, it's the best. They really are. I mean, for stirring and everything, you got to have the proper one. Ours, I don't know if I have one here, but we have our ocean spoons. Oh, I can't believe I don't have one. They've got a little shark fin on top of them.
Oh, I love
they're so cool.
Neat.
Yeah, they're great.
Hey, listen, if one of those finds itself in the mail to us, we'd be okay.
You know what? You need one. Yeah, you'd love this thing. Liz Ratliff, if you're watching, send the Clarks a spoon.
Yes.
Get Liz will take
In
care
a
of
barrel, whatever else you got going on.
it. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And some Chapelay wine.
Yes. Oh yeah. My wife would appreciate the Chapelay wines.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes, I would very much so.
It's
Okay.
so delicious. They do a
So-
great job.
We are going to. Did you make yours as well?
No, I need
No.
to. I can do that pretty quick though. I'm
That's
pretty
okay.
good.
So yeah, we've been doing all sorts of cocktails. I've been on the Amazon buying every type of apparatus to
God.
do some
I love
different
it.
funky stuff. So my wife is about ready to shoot me.
Yeah.
Well, your shaker you've got. You've got the coolest shaker I've ever seen.
Listen,
I
we'll
meant to
send you an
look that up.
affiliate link. That way we get a little commission next time you buy one.
All right. I love it.
You know what? It really is the coolest shaker. I will say
No,
this.
Yeah.
it locks. I always throw my shaker. My lid comes
Yeah.
flying off, and yours is
The
perfect.
thing I love the most about the shaker, I've said this every time I've used it on the show. You shake a drink up in that thing, it's the coldest drink
Oh,
you've
yeah.
ever had
Yeah.
in your life.
It is
Yeah.
amazing.
It's awesome.
Isn't that fun?
And my husband has to keep reminding me that I don't need a shot glass when you use that shaker because it has all the measurements right inside the top.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll sit
That's
there and I'll still try to pour
the
into
other
a,
thing.
jigger and then try to throw it in there.
Yeah. See, mine is just. I think I got it free at something.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We started doing this the little short vignettes we call cocktails at 8. It was just
Yeah.
me, doing a quick riff on a cocktail.
Yeah. I
And
love it.
I started getting stuck with these stupid shakers, and
Right.
I'm like, you son of a. So I came across an advertisement for the Elevator Craft cocktail shaker, and I'm like,
Is that what?
I'm
Okay.
spending
Yeah.
the money. I don't care. I'm doing it, and
Yeah.
we've had it for
Yeah.
over a year. It's awesome.
Yeah. I have 20 shakers they're
Yeah.
not good shakers.
This
Yeah.
thing is worth every penny. I've said this 1,000 times.
Yeah. We'll put it in the comments in the
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Yeah.
in the show, and then you could just click on the link and you can buy one if you want to.
I love it. I know. You would think the chief barrel officer would have one. I don't
Well,
know.
you would think so, right?
Constantly. You would think.
Well, listen, you could expense one out.
There you go.
Exactly. Trey will never know.
You wouldn't care.
You might want to get him one. I think right now
Yeah.
there's.
No, he.
I think
he
it's
will.
buy
He will
one,
want
get
one.
the second one a certain percentage off right now with them. I
Even
don't know.
better. I got to get it logoed. I got to stick a big old Jefferson logo on the side of it. Maybe we can do that.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
like
do
it.
that for the outstanding salespeople for the holidays.
Everybody gets one. Yeah, I like it. That's right. That's right.
Oh.
Hint, hint.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, buddy.
Thank you so much. What a treat.
Absolutely.
Ooh, damn, that's good.
Mm.
It's amazing the Campari and the rye.
Yeah.
Super nice. I love that.
And honestly, for me,
Yeah, I
usually
usually-
Campari is so bitter for me. But I mean, I like this in this cocktail. It's really good. I like this, and I like it in the Jungle Bird.
Yeah.
I like this drink.
Yes, you like bitter too, though. You like tart and bitter stuff.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little
really
drop
do.
of orange juice if you want to cut that bitterness sometimes. And then
Yep.
also
We did a nice
after-
big twist of orange in ours.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
let it
so
sit
good.
for 10 minutes also. It's amazing what it just
Yeah.
dilutes a tiny little bit, make it not
The
cut
longer
off
it
a little
goes.
bit. Yeah.
So also
yeah.
too,
I
we
guess I didn't
have
think about that. A little drop of orange juice in
So-
there. That would be good.
Oh, I love it.
what we're
Yeah.
gonna do
yeah.
too is, and you gotta private message us your address because we're gonna send you one of these.
All right.
So
What is it?
we've been doing this stuff. We got a we did a show with this gentleman a couple times, and he's got a woodworking place in Texas, and it's called Oak and Iron. So he
Yeah.
makes these. This is a cocktail smoker, and it's got magnets
Oh,
around here.
I saw you do one of those.
And I gotta tell
Yeah.
you, so I'm gonna smoke my Boulevardier,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then we're gonna try them side by side.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, those
so
things are really cool.
And one thing
let's-
we learned from
let's do it
Zach,
where people can see us here.
we learned from Zach, the owner of the company, that when you smoke a drink, because I was very worried
Can you
that
see the smoke going in there?
I was very worried that the smoke would make it taste like a campfire.
Right.
And you would be so shocked at how it takes all the liquor that's in the drink and just marries it all together.
Isn't that cool?
And it doesn't, it has a little light smoke flavor to it, but it's not anything like you would think
Right.
that it looks
Yeah.
like it would do.
Yeah, and the cool
So-
thing is the top caps it off, so it's not, going
Right.
out into your
Right.
fire alarm.
Yeah.
You see that?
But what did you burn? What's inside of it that you're burning?
So
Is it
so there's a little screen inside, and I put in some. When you buy one, they send you some oak chips also.
little chips? Oh yeah. Okay.
He's got oak chips. He's got mesquite.
Huh.
He's got cherry wood. He's got a lot of the hardwoods,
Oh
obviously.
my gosh.
And
the coolest
I
thing.
chose oak because it's gonna I
Mm,
think go great
smells
with this.
So good. Leave it up there. Let me
Yeah.
take it
No.
off so you can see the
I will.
smoke.
So you ready? Here we go.
Voila. Ooh, look at that.
Voila.
Yeah.
Can you see
Oh,
that
that's
smoke?
great. Oh, I love it.
Might be hard to see
No,
on
that's
there.
good.
No, I can
See
see
it?
it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you can.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those
Oh,
are
it
Oh,
neat.
and it smells
smells
like toast.
so good.
It smells like toasted marshmallows too.
What are they called? Forge and steel? Or
Oak and iron.
Oak and iron.
oak and iron? See, I was close.
That's fine.
Oak and iron. I got it. All right.
That's okay. You might
Oak
have a
and
little
steel, I guess it doesn't
surprise
make
for
sense.
yourself coming in the mail.
That's pretty cool.
I'll try
Very cool.
that. I'll try that.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
The thing about that is,
see.
for me,
Wow.
the smoke takes away some of the bitterness
Totally.
Yeah.
of the Campari,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
and it
funny.
actually lets the rye shine through.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Really cool.
Did you put the orange peel still in?
Yeah, the
you
orange
cut that
peel's
in?
still
yeah.
in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That probably helps too. The oils
It's
from that. Yeah.
amazing what it does for a drink.
It mellows things out, and it kind of marries things together. It doesn't necessarily make sense, but it really works.
Yeah,
No, it
does.
does. Yeah. I mean, it's a popular thing. It's just
Yeah.
there's usually so much more involved. It's so hard to, you've got like a, aquarium, you've got built and you've got all this stuff.
Yeah.
So this little tool is awesome. What a neat thing to go.
And I
with
got to
that.
tell you, it really works well with the rye. This rye is beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you.
so good.
We,
And,
you know, we,
What's
love
cool is
rye.
you stayed with the green theme with the ryes. That way they
you have to, don't you?
kind of they stick up themselves apart. And I got to tell you,
Uh-huh.
the ocean portion of it, man, you can really taste the brininess.
Yeah.
And
So
after drinking the Negroni and going back to it, it's really, really,
Yeah.
it really kind of like you can taste the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, how
totally
a
can.
little seashell, you can hear the
Yeah,
ocean,
yeah.
you can taste the ocean.
Yeah. So we're owned by Pernod Ricard, and they're like, before it was Trey, and he was pretty much winging everything, but now we're owned by a large corporation. So they're like, you can't say something unless you can verify it. So we're like, oh, taste it. You can, like, oh, no. They sent scientists in, and they measured whatever they had to measure, the whiskey before it went on the boat. This was the last voyage before the one that just came in. And then they measured it when it came back. And they wrote like a 30-page document on all the things that happened and all the changes. And
That's
we're like,
cool.
oh yeah, we knew that already. We knew it tasted different.
It was like,
verified it.
duh.
Yeah, whatever. But it was pretty cool that we're like, oh yeah. So the things that we've been saying wasn't just BS. It's actually, it wasn't just that we thought it would taste like, but it was real. It was verifiable. So
Oh,
it's pretty
man.
cool. Yeah.
That's got to be very validating for him in the fact that the scientists are like, oh my God, this did this and this and this.
Well, it just, literally when Pernod bought us, we were doing 60,000 cases a year. And this year we'll do close to 250. So,
Wow.
that's part of it, just having the bandwidth behind us,
Right.
we knew it was great. And we knew we had 22 different expressions of this product that we love. And that's another thing, 22 different expressions. If you don't like one of them, that's fine. Try one of the
Right.
other ones. You'll love something. You're going to love one of them. They're
Yeah.
all very, very
I mean,
different.
If you look behind me,
Yeah, you got a few different ones. Yeah, that's right.
There's Jefferson's there.
Up on the top shelf. I like that.
Top shelf.
Oh, I owe you a barrelhead, don't I? I got to get you a barrelhead for
That's
your studio. Oh, we got to do that. Yeah,
That's fine.
We've
Make
got some
sure
cool ones.
make sure you and Trey sign it for me.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
And listen,
All right.
if Trey is not around, just sign Trey's name. I'll never know.
Trey's around. No, he's great.
Yeah, I got to tell
He
you,
loves
what's
that
cool
stuff.
is the hands-on that you guys have. Really, I mean, you're doing 250,000 cases, and I love the fact that you're dialing back some of the exports to other countries, and you're taking care of America where it really truly started for you guys. I
And
love
that's
that.
100%. That's our
You know,
thing. You know.
that's really a tremendous thing, because there's a lot of companies out there that wouldn't necessarily do that. They'll, with the economy and everything, they're gonna go for the higher buck. But you guys are taking care of your customers, which is awesome.
You know, you're not going to find us in duty free somewhere. You know, maybe one day, hopefully, we grow, we can be bigger. But it's funny. We are a huge company, but Jefferson's in such a small, as you know, it's such a small part of that company. There's 3 of us in Louisville that basically run everything for Jefferson, and then we've got our people that oversee us in New York, but they're not hands on here. You know, they let us go, and it's awesome. I mean, it's fantastic, but it's Trey Zoller. I mean, this thing is his baby, and he's not an owner anymore, but he acts more like an owner now than he ever has. I've never seen him so hands on. It's great. He loves it too. It's his passion.
And his dad is still involved.
His dad lives right up the street from me, right here, right down the road. My parents live 2 doors down from him. Great guy.
We were watching a documentary. I can't remember what it was, and the whole thing started off, and there's Chet. I go, honey, that's guy from Jefferson's dad.
It's Bourbon, Tucky. I think maybe you were watching. That's a great documentary. And
it was like awesome. He was in there. He was in that a lot. You know.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And the cool thing is he's a bourbon historian as well.
Yeah, he's written a book, and I do. I have it right here. If you want to hold on one second, it's pretty cool. It is. I mean, you want to. There we go. Bourbon in Kentucky. I mean, it is incredibly detailed. There it is. Chester Zoller. Yeah. Trey is Chester Zoller the third.
Is he? Okay.
Is that right? Yeah, he's the third. His son's the fourth. But this thing is like it's unbelievable. It is the details of, and that's how Trey really got in the business. His dad was coming back from a trip in Ireland where he bought a barrel of whiskey in Ireland, and it was going to be ready for Y2K. And Trey's Dad, we know everybody in the bourbon business. Why didn't you buy a bourbon barrel? He's like, well, I wanted to go over to Ireland and go on a golf trip, and that would be fun. And it was we had a great time, but we could start looking at people. And there were, I think, 8 distilleries at the time in Kentucky, and 7 of them were like, yep, take as much as you want. Please come by whatever you can, because it was 1997 and hardly anybody was buying bourbon.
Back then,
Oh, it was great. So he had the run of the place everywhere he went. He was getting 15, 20, 25-year-old beautiful bourbon.
Oh,
I remember he brought me something from Distillery that I was just like, this is the greatest thing I ever had. And then he ended up buying like 400 barrels of it. This is a crazy story. He paid $1,250 per barrel for that juice. And there's a bar in downtown Louisville right now that's selling it for $1,300 a pour.
Oh,
wow.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. And
if I only had a crystal ball back then.
That's awesome.
Well, Trey knew, but he was selling it for $99 a bottle, and we were like, $99? You're crazy. You're never going to get $99 for that stuff. And it was a tough sell. It was a tough sell at the time.
Wow.
But now it goes for insane amounts, and it's sought after, and
I was in the store. I was in the store earlier today, and I saw this bottle of 15-year-old something. And it was like $105. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I'm like, whoa, 15-year-old? And it was a bourbon.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not going to say what it was, but I was like, wow.
Hope you bought it.
No. No.
I know. I don't. We keep talking about.
He doesn't get his allowance until Friday.
That's right.
That's right. Plus, you're in the business. It's like it's hard for me to spend money on alcohol. Being in the business.
Well, especially with wine, I can't. With wine, I have to.
Right.
Thank God he goes to a liquor store every day, because I'm like, give me some wine.
Give me some deals. Right.
Not that we don't have wine all over the place.
Exactly.
Gosh.
Exactly.
Special ones I like sometimes.
Well, yeah,
right.
sure.
You like what you
Anything for you, dear.
That's funny.
Oh,
that's good.
Goodness.
So, question for you.
Yeah.
So, how often are you meeting with people with regards to barrel purchases?
Just did one today for a little bar in downtown DC.
Wow.
We do about 900 single barrels a year right now.
Wow.
And we're going to increase that next year. But it's funny, we only do about 20% of them here. We have a little the J Club is what we call it, which is just down the road from our distillery, where we do single barrel picks. It's a really fun. It's funny because so many people come in and they expect, super formal, and we are like leather couches, and do you want to sit here? Do you want to go to, and it's very music's playing, and we let people kind of do their own thing. So yeah. But we only do about 20% of our barrel picks in Kentucky right now. And I think that it'll increase. I'm seeing a lot more things on the books for September and October. September is Bourbon Heritage Month, and we've got a ton of people coming in for things, events for that. We're doing a thing with Bourbon and Beyond this year. It's a big concert here in Louisville, and it was a 2-day concert, and then went to a 3-day concert, and this year now it's a 4-day concert. It's the largest event in the world around a spirit. So it's insane. They do 50 to 60,000 people per day, and they're doing it for 4 days this year. It's a cool event. Pearl Jam's playing. There's, you name a band, I think they're here for one of those 4 days. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Beautiful.
And then they do a food component. So our friend Edward Lee, who's the chef for our Chef's Collaborations, put that together. He helps with the food part of that too. So
cool.
There's just so much stuff going on. So a ton of people want to come in for those kind of things, and they'll do barrel picks. But one of the things we're looking at doing is going out around the country. We just kind of thought about doing this, going into different markets and doing barrel picks in the markets, because so much of it's out in the field anyway. So it'd be fun for us to get out and do that, bring Trey, and just make it an event. So maybe we'll call on you and you can help us get that organized. And
absolutely, whatever you need.
Yeah, love it.
You can count on us.
I know.
Yeah, and the thing is he, if he comes up this way, we'll, or you come up this way, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, we're ready to get going a lot more this year, I think, than we've been able to in the past year. So this is good.
Yeah, set up a bourbon dinner. We can have some bourbon, eat some great food.
One of my favorite things. Yeah. I love it.
Work.
I know, isn't it funny? It's something funny that we've been doing. We started this program, and I thought they were nuts, but they've been doing this ocean and oysters program. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know, ocean and raw oysters. I'm like, well, are you going to cook it or wait? And they're like, no, it's going to be raw. I'm like, and it's fantastic for one thing. And the brininess from the ocean rye is really great with it. But just the brininess from the ocean products are great with it, with the oysters. It's fun. But then I've been getting them to grill some of them, and grilled, like a bourbon butter grilled oyster is like one of the greatest things ever. So yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
I would be able to do that. I don't think I could do the raw ones, but I might be able to do that.
I can do them both.
So yeah. Me too. I'm the same way too. But yeah, I like them grilled a lot, especially with the bourbon butter. It's pretty darn good.
Oh, sounds delicious
with this stuff. Yeah, it's fun. Anything we can do, tie it in with the ocean. We love those things. It's
sure.
And literally, if you look at the stuff that we've done, it's to have fun. Trey's, he wants to go to California, so let's do a wine from California. Let's do one from France. He does it from France, and so I can go over there. And now he's like, let's do ocean things. So here we are doing the ocean stuff. So it's pretty cool. It was all based on fun, and is this going to be is it going to taste great, and can we have fun doing it? And that's kind of his whole mantra for everything. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, life's too short to be serious all the time.
Oh, and who doesn't have fun with a great tasting bourbon? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. No, and it was cool. Like you said, people coming in to taste. There's a group of guys that came in today. There were 5 of them. 4 of them worked for the bar, and then they brought a friend. I think they brought the friend because he had his own plane and he flew them here from DC. So I'm guessing that was the reason he got invited. But they were just, they're here and they're going out to dinner and they're picking some barrels for their restaurant or their bar. And it's just a fun thing. It's just and that was Trey's other mantra, make a, friend one bottle at a time, take a bottle out. And that's how he built Jefferson's. Nobody cared at first who Trey Zoller was or any of that, nobody gave a hoot about him. So it was make friends. It was cool.
So when somebody comes and does a barrel pick, is it anything specific? I mean, can they do a barrel pick on the ocean? Can they do a rye? Can they do, the reserves, or how does that?
All of our barrels are allocated throughout the country. So the DC guy, he had his bar, they were allocated 1 barrel. And so I gave them 3 different choices of that. It was the Jefferson Reserve 100 proof that we only do single barrel. We also do, and we have that available. Sometimes we'll have some ocean. We've got a new one coming out. The Ocean 29 is getting ready to be released. and we're going to do a few single barrels of that, but not many. We do maybe 100 of those. The Pritchard Hill will have 50 or 60 of those. We do small things. Yeah, it's kind of neat. Old Rum, we've done that. Twin Oak, we had 175 of those, I think. We had a few more. So yeah, it kind of depends on the time of year when they come in and if they were allocated that in their market.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's
That's
a fun thing.
cool.
And it blows me away every time. I've done 1,000 of these things, I think. And, you have 3 barrels that set right next to each other in the rick house. And you pull samples from those. The exact same juice went in. The barrels are exactly the same. And the 3 taste completely different. Every single time, you're just like, what?
It blows your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, even if they're, you get it if one's at the top of the rick house.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if there's three different levels, sure.
Right.
But they're right next to each other. I know where these barrels are. And they're right next to each other. And I know what goes in the barrels. And it tastes exactly the same going in. It's all made at the same time, and it goes in, and then it comes out different. It's just awesome. Wow. It's such a cool thing. But that's what makes it, when you go to a store or you go to a restaurant and they have a single barrel pick, it's a special thing. Like they know what that tasted like because they tasted it and they went through it. And that's it. Once that one's gone, that'll never happen again. Yeah. It's gone. And it truly will never happen again.
Well, there's I'm sure variables with regards to the oak, the oak barrel, as far as like, they're obviously not all the same tree type thing, but still, their temperature is the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, being neighbors that close, and it's not like, one's at one end of the world. That blows my mind.
But how was it put together? Is it super tight? Are the grains of that wood looser or tighter than the other barrel? How much was it filled up? Was it filled all the way to the top? And there's so many weird little variables that make a difference. It's amazing.
That's cool.
But it is really, and the char, everybody says, oh, it's a 3 char. Well, can you really get a char exactly the same every time? I don't care what you're doing. You might get it close, but you're not gonna be able to get it every time. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It's cool.
If it was easy, everybody do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Talk to the barrel makers. Think of the coopers there. It's a crazy thing to see. It's one of the coolest things I've ever gotten to see in this industry was having where barrels are made and how they're made. Oh my gosh, they'll come flying by on fire and they're like, going. These guys are rolling around. They do this thing, and the barrels weigh a lot. A barrel weighs
a ton,
a bunch, and they take the barrels and they roll them down the side of a truck, and they go all the way in the truck and they hit the end and they roll, and then they go around the side, and that's how they fill a truck. So there's a cooperage here, Kelvin Cooperage here in Louisville, where they do a contest every year for their employees, and who can fill the truck up the fastest with a barrel wins, a prize, a cash prize. And these guys are taking these giant barrels and whipping them in and filling a whole truck up in 10 minutes. It's unbelievable. It's really cool. Maybe
don't mess with those guys.
Minutes, but it's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's my great grandfather was a cooper. My grandfather ran the cooperage where my grandfather worked as he was the foreman of the whole cooperage. And they would come home and they would just be covered in just soot and the hands would be filthy. And I was always like, what is going on? What are you all doing? And then I went to a cooperage finally and saw, I was like, oh, got it.
Oh, that's I got
why you're all so filthy. Yeah. My great grandfather also would have big mason jars in his basement with this dirty water in it. And what they were doing was sweating the barrels and pulling the juice out of those used barrels and saving it. And apparently it was fantastic. It was really good, really great whiskey.
My God. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it
be?
Be?
Oh yeah. Think about that. Right. Because there's always a little left in there. Plus if you sweat the barrel, you're going to get all that stuff that's been in the wood the whole time. And 4 or 5-year-old whiskey tastes like 10 or 15-year-old whiskey.
Wow.
I know. I'd love to be able to go back and get some of those jars now. That'd be a blast.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you only knew, right?
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was nuts and disgusting, and it was gross. Chunks of wood in it floating around.
Little did we know.
Yeah, just get yourself a little strainer. You're done.
Oh yeah, right. Could have paid for my daughter's graduation or for my daughter's college education with that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun business. What a crazy thing, and you all have seen the. Rise from where we called Trey nuts in 1997 to now where it's just like, it's just everywhere. Brown goods used to take up 2 spaces on a shelf and it was the usual suspects on there is all you saw, and now it's a whole wall and people are stacking it, and yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to see the difference.
Yeah, it's truly amazing to see the, you know, we've talked about this a couple different times on the show, and when probably a few years into being in the business, I remember I was being told to go sell Blanton's. You know, like you guys got to sell this stuff. Come on, I know you can do it. It's like, oh my God, you know, and now it's like you can't find it anywhere.
It's crazy. Yeah,
you know,
I mean, we had somebody in a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to Trey, and I go, "Oh, Trey, you know, we had this group in, and they bought 6 barrels." And he goes, "Did they really buy 6 barrels, Dan, or did they want to buy 10?" And you told them they could only have 6. I was like, "Yeah, I didn't sell anything really. I didn't sell anything. I really told them I couldn't give them more than what they wanted." So he's like, you know, we joke, we're like, one day we're going to have to sell these barrels. We're going to have to actually ask people to get them instead of, you know, allocating them out here and there. But until then, it's a great job now. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Everybody's got your number, right?
Oh yeah, believe me. And literally, even today, we had these guys. They were going to get 1 barrel, and that's all they were allocated. That's all I could give them. They were like, "Hey, you know, what if I came in and could I get this and one of these?" And I was like, "Man, I wish I could. If I could sell all the barrels that I'm asked for, it'd be, you know, 10,000 instead of 1,000."
I know.
It's fun.
Well, it's not like, you know, you can crank out, you know, just turn the spigot on. It doesn't work that way, you know. Yeah,
it's not vodka. Exactly. I wish it were.
Right.
I wish
you
it
can
were.
turn the bourbon spigot on, and here you go.
Right. No, it's funny. Yeah.
You are so right about this, though. After this has been sitting with the orange in it, oh my goodness.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah.
So
it's
good.
You know, it's a hard sell. My wife just can't stand Campari, and I made her a regular Negroni with tequila. She loves tequila, and then I put a little orange juice in it. I tried to do everything to kind of mask the Campari a little bit, and she liked it finally. But it's a hard sell on sometimes. But man, when it hits right, it's refreshing. It feels good. It's a good. I love them.
I am going to try it with a little splash of the orange juice, though. I think that's a good idea because I love it with a little bit of lemon.
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to love it with the orange.
Yeah, you can tweak this thing and you'll get it right. Just drop off a little bit of the Campari, and you know.
That's what you do. Is you play around. You make, you know, that. I mean, that's how these cocktails got to be halfway where they are. You know.
Right.
Hey, let's put some of this in there, and let's try that, and you know, next thing you know, it's a cocktail in the ether or whatever it is.
Right. I don't know where the name Boulevardier came from. Do you know that? Do you know the history of that? Do you know where the name Boulevardier came from? I don't know.
No.
I don't either. I need to look that up. I knew the Negroni was apparently a guy that went to a bar in Florence all the time, and his last name was Negroni, and they just started calling that drink, you know, that he ordered all the time. They just called it after him. So yeah, that's you know, I don't know where Boulevardier came from though. I should know that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I put it in the scroller, but Boulevardier, and that's the other thing too. It's like, yeah, could you pick a harder word to spell?
Yeah, I know. Oh, forget spelling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boulevard.
I wonder how many times it's like misspelled on cocktail lists.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
I googled it real quick.
Oh boy.
I love it. Yeah.
But I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of some of this, I'm sure.
Just say it with a French accent, and it sounds right.
It was the signature drink of Erskine Gwynn.
Oh yeah.
Expatriate writer. Am I saying that right? Expatriate writer, socialite, and nephew of railroad tycoon Alfred Vanderbilt. Like Gloria Vanderbilt? Like the jeans?
Probably
like the jeans.
Like relative.
Gwynn edited a monthly magazine, a sort of Parisian New Yorker named the Boulevardier.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's a pretty good story.
Of course, it's named after a magazine. Anderson Cooper's
great uncle or something.
Yeah, it's about a monthly magazine in Paris called Boulevardier.
Okay.
I just saw that movie, The Paris Dispatch.
It's got
to be the same kind of thing.
Here's the thing, though. There's nothing French in here.
Not at all.
You know
Not at all.
Really?
Campari
Oh, you know
Italian,
what?
vermouth
No.
Italian.
It could be French Canadian rye, maybe.
Oh yeah, dude,
There you
Maybe
go.
that's what it is.
Maybe if you
I'm
if
gonna
you
go
take
with
a
that.
drink and go wee wee, it's good.
Oh,
Oh.
French people hate
Yeah,
us.
but he wasn't even French, right? He was just writing a French. That's even better.
Yeah,
We'll
knows?
butcher their language and drink our American drink. Damn it!
yeah.
That's right, damn
Wait a minute. We're owned by a French company. Hold the phone.
Oh no, everything's.
This is
You're
all
right.
French.
Awesome.
And I work
Yeah.
through them as well. Everything is
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's
And
awesome.
it was just Bastille Day the other day, so
Champagne de
we got it all. That's right. Oui, oui.
Oh God. On that
Yeah,
note,
hey, listen.
Yeah, what am I?
Nobody watches the show day and all the way to this point, anyway.
Good. But bite the hand that feeds me.
exactly.
Yeah,
Nobody watches the show. They're going to watch this one. I think this is riveting.
they need to. Hey, listen.
They
Anytime we get together,
learn something
Joking. We have we have some very loyal fans
Yes, we
that
do.
watch.
because it's fun. Yeah.
Sometimes our shows are long versions. They'll say they'll watch like 30 minutes one night and they
Right.
watch 30 minutes the next night,
Yeah.
which is awesome. We
Yeah.
love it.
it's like a
Yep.
dynasty two-parter. You know, you got to watch it. You got to watch to see what happened to Bobby. You know.
Of all the shows you can pull out, I love it.
I know,
Dynasty.
right?
It goes with Boulevardier. I bet they drank Boulevardiers on
No,
Dynasty.
I'm sorry. I was thinking Dallas. Dallas is Bobby. Bobby and Jr.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was,
Dynasty's even better.
it was,
though.
Yes.
it was what's
Falcon's Crest.
yeah.
Falcon
Yes.
Crest. I can't even remember
I will have a
yesterday. I
Boulevardier.
don't know how he remembers
Yes,
this crap.
Dynasty. That was with the guy from he was Charlie's Angels guy. He was it was him and Linda Evans.
Linda
and,
Evans.
Joan
oh my
Collins.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh, yeah,
God.
that's right. Joan
Yeah.
Collins. You know
Yeah.
she drank Boulevardiers with champagne.
You
on it.
had-
Yes,
you-
she did.
almost exclusively.
Almost exclusively. She loved Jefferson's just before it was made.
That's right.
Just
Absolutely.
before we launched in 1997. She talked about it all the time.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
those shows.
Awesome. Well, Dan, my
Yeah.
friend, I certainly appreciate you coming on again.
Mhm.
And
Well, I can't
doing
wait
the
to be number
three-peat.
my four Pete. I can't wait for that one.
And listen,
Woo-hoo.
I just want to say, throwing this out there, there's only one guy that's ahead of you on being on the show for more than 3 times, and that's Adam Edwards from Rabbit Hole.
Well, that's on you.
And-
I will be happy to come on and break that record any day. I
Well,
can't
listen,
wait. We'll come back
on
on.
with him live at Rabbit Hole, but the sound was horrible. So
Well, and we were supposed to be going to
know.
see him too, but
And I got
somebody
sick.
got sick.
yeah,
I know.
Yeah. but we will be back.
We're better.
It's
Excellent. Yeah,
a
He
little-
is
excellent.
better.
Can't
He
wait.
is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Still
good.
going
Oh, I
through-
still have my mental issues, but I'm back.
He still
You
has
seem
the
great.
Lord's
Yeah.
Fest that they're gonna do next month, but
Yeah.
for the most part, he's good.
I'm on this side of the grass, Dan. That's the most
I know.
important part.
I know. Good.
know? Yeah.
But we'll do something for the Mary McLean for the special when it comes out in September for sure. If not before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm not sure if you were aware, sir. However, we did 30 days of Bourbon Heritage Month.
You don't think I follow you guys? I check every
And we
time I
did
check in.
30 solid
every one of them.
days of bourbon.
30
Yeah.
straight.
You
days
did a lot of Jefferson stuff too, which
Yes,
so
sir.
thank you very much.
If I even
Listen,
if I didn't
if
want
we
We
to
do almost
have-
every
I
day.
learned to love it.
If we have all, what is it, 21 or 22?
22 expressions now.
Okay. We have all 22. Well, we can't do the rise because it's Bourbon Month.
Yeah.
So 20. So I've got to get myself all of the.
Are we
Jefferson.
gonna
It's
do
a
all
lot.
the Jeffersons?
That'd be good. Yeah, wouldn't it?
That'd be awesome.
Do 20 days of Jeffersons of 30 days of
Oh
bourbon.
my God. Yeah. We could do a countdown to Christmas.
Yeah.
With
Listen.
Jefferson.
Yeah, exactly.
22
It's like an
days of-
advent calendar.
22 days of the holidays.
You open up every little door to
Instead of a piece
I
of
love
chocolate,
it. That's right.
instead of a
It's
piece of
gonna
chocolate, you
be-
get a shot of bourbon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Twin Oak. Hey.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so
Some
if I
new
if I
experiment
if I
trader.
need some, I'll call you. You can just send some to me.
That's right. Yeah, we do. Yeah, there's a bunch out there that aren't available all the time. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be not always easy.
Hey, listen, believe me, I look for them all the time. I have the computer to do it too, which is
Thank
fun.
you. Yeah, it is. It's funny. Like the guy that went to look for all the ocean products.
That's
You
awesome.
can't
What a
call.
great
Well,
story.
here's the thing. This
You
ocean
got to get
here,
out and find them.
this
Yeah.
is the weeded one.
That's 22, isn't it? Is that
That's
22 or is that
22.
25?
No, 25.
25. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is fantastic, and the
And
22
it's
is
a
great
special
too.
weeded. I haven't opened it yet,
hmm
but
So we
can't
do our
say-
regular ocean.
I can't
And
say
then-
how I came about getting it, but I got it.
I understand.
It was 100%. It was 100% legal, and it was an exchange of cash like a normal person.
That's good. Okay. Because we have our normal ocean that we put out that's always available, and then we do special rye, the weeded, a cast strength one that is awesome too. That's a cool one to have.
Yeah.
It's usually like 115, 125 proof, somewhere in between there.
Wow.
So that's a fun one to have. So the special ones come out, every once in a while. But yeah, the weeded one is that's my favorite ocean that we
Yeah, I
have.
can't
I
wait
think it's
to try it.
fantastic. Yeah, it's fun and delicious.
Nice.
So maybe we'll
Yeah.
talk ahead of Bourbon Heritage Month. If I need something, maybe
I
you'll be
hope
able to
so.
hook me up.
Yeah.
If not, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just do
We
what
can get it
we
to you.
got at that point.
Yeah, no, we can get it to you. That's
Yeah.
right.
Bourbon
Yeah.
Heritage Month.
Yeah, I
Oh
love
my
Bourbon. I
gosh,
love
here we
Bourbon
go
Heritage.
So much
again.
fun. I don't know.
Why can't we
It's
have a
lot.
wine heritage month?
Why
Oh,
not?
there
Why
is
not
some
have it?
wine in that one, Pritchard Hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, we're owned by Pernod Ricard, so we have an amazing sparkling portfolio. So I'm
100%
putting
agree with
together a bourbon and bubbles thing with
Ooh,
Perrier
yeah.
Jouet.
Ooh.
We've got all kinds of
Mhm.
our Mum and Mum Napa, which is fantastic stuff as well.
Patty and
we've
I-
got some other.
Patty and I spent one of our anniversaries out in Napa, and we spent the
Oh.
day at Mum Napa, and oh my God,
Oh
what
my
a
God.
what a
Isn't that
beautiful
great?
spot,
Oh my God.
Awesome.
We sat out
Sitting on
there
the
overlooking
patio.
the vineyards, having some
Yep.
bubbly.
Yeah.
My personal favorite is Cuvée M, not because it's Cuvée
Yeah.
Nat, but Cuvée M. I love
Yeah.
it.
It's so good.
So
Yeah.
I am definitely going to try your suggestion of the Negroni with the Prosecco.
Yeah.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
That sounds
Maybe we'll do that in the
amazing to
next
me.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really good.
I think that's definitely an Instagram show. Boom,
Absolutely.
waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes it a little more refreshing, especially when it's hot out, which it is.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's nice.
was that a traditional Negroni with the Prosecco, or did you say there was orange juice in that one too?
No, there's a couple different ways. One of them is they replace the gin, which is in a normal Negroni, with Prosecco. But
Okay.
a lot of times they just toss it a little Prosecco on top and stir it in, just to kind
Okay.
of give it a little fizz and to refresh it up a little bit.
I bet that
Okay.
would
So you can kind of go through it, but no orange juice in it. But you could. I mean, you could absolutely do that. But you
Yeah.
kind of don't need to, because the orange juice kind of cuts it down, but you don't need it because the Prosecco kind of does that.
Right.
Okay.
Kind of
Yeah.
cuts
Okay.
it out, makes it a little
Yeah,
more
because I mean, there's
refreshing.
not
I
really
guess.
residual sugar in the Prosecco, but
Yeah.
there's
Right. It's
there's
not
a
like it would be.
dosage to it.
Yeah, and it's amazing what the effervescence does to it too. That's really
Yeah.
nice.
I like it.
Effervescence. Is that a term for drinking?
No,
I guess it
sounds
is.
awesome.
Yeah, the bubbles.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, we did a cocktail. It was the Brown Derby. You're one of your favorites,
I love that drink.
but we did it with super juice.
What's super juice?
Okay,
So we'll put that in our
We'll
comments
put that
too.
in there,
This stuff is amazing, Dan.
so
It's
Elderberry?
there's a gentleman that lives in Louisville who is a bartender, and his name is, I saved it in here because I knew eventually I'd be talking about it.
I live in Louisville and I go to the bars
Yes.
a lot, so it's probably a
Yeah.
good chance I.
to see what this guy
I
has
know
done.
this
is
guy.
amazing.
Well, that's cool.
Here's his name, and I'm glad I finally have it here. Nickel Morris. He owns Bar Expo in Kentucky.
Bar? I don't know that place, huh?
Okay.
Bar X.
So-
Okay.
So what he did is he obviously has a cocktail program. So
Yeah.
when you take basically a half of a lime you put it in the lime squeezer. You're just getting a little bit of juice, and then the rest of that lime is thrown
Right.
out. Well,
Right.
obviously, there's a lot of flavor that's in the rind with all the oils.
Yeah.
So what he did was basically he peels the limes and then juices them. Okay. So then you have a lot more of the lime actually going in. So once you peel the limes, then you
Yeah.
figure out there's like a formula of adding citric acid and malic acid
Yeah.
and let them macerate for about an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And
Wow.
what that
Okay.
does is it extracts all of the oils and everything out.
Yeah.
Then you pour in the juice. I usually do the juice and water
Yeah.
to whatever the calculations are. It basically takes basically four limes and it exponentially grows to almost a liter of juice.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Oh
then
wow.
you hand blend it with a immersion
Yeah.
blender,
Right. Right.
and then you filter that out through cheesecloth or whatever and get all the rind out. So you have all this stuff called
Oh
super
my
juice.
God.
And it lasts,
Yeah.
I want to say like a couple of weeks.
It sounds complicated.
It
but
sounds
it's
complicated,
not.
but you can
It's
do it.
not.
Yeah.
It's so
Well, you
can
make a big
do it in a
batch.
couple of hours. And
Yeah.
Dan, it gives your cocktails.
We did a taste
I
side
love
by
that.
side
Unbelievable.
profile, and
Ooh.
I could not
Sure.
believe how much more of a lime and lemon taste. It
Yeah.
was. We've done it with grapefruit. We've
Yeah.
done it with orange. We've
Yeah.
done it with lime, lemon.
We did a 5 blend the first time. We did lemon, lime, orange, blood orange, and grapefruit.
Oh,
Ooh.
And then we did
Man.
the actual fresh juice version of those juices side by
Yeah.
side. And we just did it as a regular daiquiri,
So much
nothing
better.
crazy, just a regular
Yeah.
silver rum.
Yep.
Nothing that's gonna make the juice taste different,
Right.
And the cocktail was like, oh my God, this was like one of the greatest cocktails I've ever made. And then we
Yeah.
did it side by side with the super juice. We always thought these guys who do these shows about it are
Yeah.
nuts. We
Yeah.
took one look at
I
each
know.
other like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
It was like
That extra
was like
step.
the gates of heaven opened up.
I love it.
Well, the first thing is the first cocktail with the fresh juice was like this beautiful harmonious blend of those 5 juices, and
Yeah.
then you could taste the rum.
Yep.
Well, once
Right.
you did the same exact thing with the super juice, it enveloped the rum to it was weird. It was like layers of flavor and then rum. This other thing was just this cocktail that was just it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
So yeah. So anytime
good.
we're
Oh, I
together, I'll
love it.
make you some grapefruit super juice, buddy, and I'll
Well, I'm
make
gonna
you
go see
your
Bar
favorite
Expo.
brown derby that'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh my God, that's what I was thinking. That'd be unbelievable with that.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well, the thing is though
And
too
we'll
is
put, we'll put the link to the gentleman that
Yeah.
did this.
yeah.
there's
in
a
our
gentleman
show
that does
comments.
does a bartending show, Kevin Kose, I believe his name is,
Uh-huh.
and it's called Cocktail Time, and he has a website where he has a calculator, so you can try it. So
Yeah.
once you get on there, there's a spot for each citrus flavor or citrus
Yeah.
juice.
Yep.
So you just punch in whatever the rind you pull off of the grapefruit.
Oh,
Say
okay.
it's-
That's how you know.
Yeah, so say
Yeah.
say it's like 50 grams. You weigh it in on a food scale,
Yeah.
50 grams, and then it tells you exactly how much food grade malic acid and how much citric acid to put in
Oh,
it,
I love
Yep.
that. Yeah.
and then how much water as well.
Right.
But with me, what I do instead of just adding water, I take the juice, back the water off, and then put the juice in there.
Okay. Yeah.
It
It's
doesn't last
amazing.
as long that way, just because the juice eventually
Yeah.
starts to break down. But
Right.
it's just, Dan, it's like one of the greatest things I've ever done.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not
I
sweet.
love that kind of
No,
stuff.
no,
not-
you have to actually add a little simple
we
syrup
have
to make
simple
the
syrup.
cocktail.
We make our own
Right.
simple syrup. But yeah, I mean it the taste profile is
Yeah, it blows your mind.
100% different.
It doesn't sound like the rind would be good in there. That's kind of what I can't wait to try. I love that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
I mean, I like
just-
rind usually, but yeah, it can be overpowering too much.
yeah,
Yeah.
bitter, but
the way
Yeah.
the way that they produce this guy is a super genius.
Yeah.
yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yes, we'll send you that link, and also too send
Yeah.
us your address. We're gonna send you one of these beautiful oak and iron
Oh,
things.
all
You and
right.
Trey can
That's
smoke some
pretty cool.
cocktails.
Yeah,
Oh,
you got to
that'd
smoke
be
a cocktail.
we're going to come out with the smoked Jeffersons.
That's
Wait
right.
and see. We'll build a great big one of those, put it on a barrel, and smoke the whole barrel.
Yeah, perfect.
Be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get one of the Cooper guys to light
Yeah.
the thing on fire.
Exactly. Don't be
Well, make sure you
surprised.
send us a picture of it when you're doing
Absolutely,
it. 'cause
yeah.
we wanna see it.
Yeah, tag
That'd
us,
be
tag us
awesome.
in the photo.
Yeah. Send us a fire extinguisher with that too, as well, please.
Exactly, You know, I'm getting a taste of like fire extinguisher.
I'm getting a burnt flesh. Like,
Hot.
what
It's
is-
like
what is-
it's kind of
what have they
chemically,
done?
but I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll
Well, listen,
try
Dan, we won't
anything.
take up any more of your time. We truly appreciate you coming
No,
out.
thank
You're the
you. I
best,
love it.
man.
Thank you guys. Oh, you guys are. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
we
for
might have
having
to
us.
invest in like masters type jackets for the amount of.
No,
the
you know
amount
what?
of shows.
When I hit number 5, I'll get it myself. I'm gonna get a smoking jacket with a big 5 on it. I'm
I like
psyched. Picture you guys
Hopefully
on the
we'll be-
back.
Five Timers
Hopefully
Club,
we'll
just like
be-
Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
with you soon to
Yeah.
see you and do it.
yes. One or either we're gonna come up that way. I know we've talked about it. We've got a thing in. Somebody's trying to get us to Buffalo, and I'm not sure when that is, but I'll let you know if that.
Yeah,
ever
let me know.
happens.
Okay.
That's not far from where. I mean,
Right.
well, it's,
Yeah,
you know,
we're
it's
only
like
like
3 or
3.5
4
hours
hours,
away
so-
from there.
Oh, is it that
It's not a
far?
big
Okay.
deal at all.
Yeah. All right.
but
Well,
listen, for you
Listen,
guys, we'll travel.
Yeah, we
all
travel.
right. Well, I know I'm going to be in the city on the August the 15th, 16th, so I'll be
Yeah.
in Manhattan, but I don't know.
Yeah,
let you
that's-
guys figure
Unfortunately,
that's the
that
other
might
way.
be a little far, but definitely
Yeah.
we definitely would hit Buffalo. That's
Buffalo
for sure.
would be
Yeah.
good.
All right. Well, and get down here too. Come back and
Yeah,
see us. I'll
definitely.
show you.
That is
get you out to
definitely
the
something we're
distillery.
probably going to do.
We're trying to plan that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So,
for
and
sure.
anybody watching, please come to Louisville, and we're literally right outside of Louisville, in Crestwood, Kentucky, which is about 15 minutes from downtown. We're probably
Yeah.
the closest real distillery outside of the downtown area that you can get to and see
Yeah.
what's going on, and it's pretty cool. It's a good little
Yeah.
tour. It's
Absolutely.
very different.
Get
than
over
the big
there,
one.
check
Yeah.
Jefferson's out, and maybe
Yeah.
Dan will sell you a barrel.
No, please don't say that.
Tell him Clark he's
I'm
got
booked. Don't promise anybody barrels.
Hey, what if we
Right.
buy? Can we buy a barrel personally? Probably
Of course
can't.
you can.
We'd have to probably
you
do
know
some-
somebody, so we could probably help you.
Probably do some. They probably New York State probably have to jump through hoops or something stupid, but
Oh, probably.
It's all right.
It can't have it can't have labels on the bottle. It has to have hang tags that go
no,
on.
we
that
don't
hang
care
on
about
the
that.
bottle.
We don't care
Yeah.
about that.
It has to have one of those little things instead of
Yeah,
a
believe me,
special label.
if I pick a barrel, somebody's gonna know. That's it.
They're gonna right. Yeah, that's what's cool about our bottles. We've got this backside that's blank that you can slap all kinds of cool stickers and stuff on when people buy them. They put all
Nice.
kinds of stuff on
And
them.
listen,
It's fun.
we could buy one ourselves and just give it out to people.
There you go.
Absolutely. Happens all the time.
Yeah. Or just can you make a
make
bunch of
cocktails out of it.
375s for us?
Yeah.
I
Use
will
a
say
little barrel.
I still love that little 375. That's
I know
awesome.
it's adorable.
You know what? I've never seen those in person. I just know they went out
No?
to a few
Oh my
places.
God.
No, I've never seen it
Oh,
in
it's
person. No.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great. I know.
I
Yeah.
want to see though it's pocket size. I mean, it's
Well, yeah, a pocket.
pretty darn big.
It looks like a
You
little
don't put it in
bottle of.
You don't put it in your shirt pocket. You put it in your pants pocket.
Oh,
It looks like a little bottle of Ralph Lauren Polo cologne.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's bigger than
I-
that.
That bottle shape. That's right. Oh, I wear whiskey all the time. Yeah, I always wear a little Jefferson
That's right.
before I go out.
Yeah.
So there.
Yeah.
As officer, honest to God, it's my cologne.
Yeah, please love it. It's Kentucky. Everybody smells like bourbon here.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares.
How do they do those checks? You know,
Exactly.
It's not like bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, sir, I just left work. It's right there.
Well, they check to see how much,
I know,
at what
right?
level are you? Because
Yeah.
you're just going to have bourbon around you somewhere. Oh, you only have this much. You're good.
That's too funny.
Oh,
Well, awesome,
great.
Dan. Thank you so much, sir. It's always
Thank
a
you,
pleasure
guys.
to see you. And
Thank
we
you. It's great
hope
to see you all as well.
in 3D very, very soon.
That's
Yes.
right.
I hope so. Cheers, you guys.
So cheers, Dan.
Yeah,
Cheers,
good night.
Dan. Thank
Yeah,
you
have a good
so
night.
much.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
You betcha. Take care.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
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 Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our special guest, Dan Burke,
Whoop,
Chief Barrel Officer for Jefferson's Bourbon. Yeah, listen,
Awesome.
Jefferson's, we love it. It's one of those items that you can create friendships with, and
It's
it's
a great story.
it's a great story. The beautiful thing is, it starts too with Chat, Trey's dad, and his love for bourbon and his love for the history of bourbon, and that translates so much through the bourbon that we have here. So, anyway, go out there, get yourself some Jeffersons, and thanks so much for joining us here at a couple of drinks to the Clarks.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. We're all
Cheers,
empty,
honey.
but
Love
whatever.
you. We'll have more.
Have a good night.